Hey everybody, Chris Machete here via Planet Earth and the Crier Media. Yeah, so I'm one panel short tonight. Brent is away. He's on a plane somewhere far away. I'm not sure where. Zimbabwe is what I said in my promo, but I don't think that's accurate. You can never go by my promo's accuracy on where Brent is on planet Earth. I don't know. But wherever you are, Brent, cheers, my friend. The spirit is with you. Here we go. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Welcome. We're going to be talking about the 80s tonight, whenever you're viewing this, whenever your relaxing time is to view or to listen to interesting things about pop culture, more specifically comic books and conspiracy theories. My name is Chris. I'm the owner of Machete Comics, published comic book artist. We have 3 comic books available right now, Skeletron 1, 2, and 3. And if you go to our website, you can buy lots of other cool things as I untie my tongue. All right, friends. So I'm going to be, that was our Skeletron comic bundle. If you were interested in that, that's $20 for 3 comic books. How do you like that? Now, here's the deal. If you're in the Durham area this weekend, here's where I'll be. Look at that handsome devil. My gosh, that's a creepy looking dude. Those eyes. Oh, those eyes. I'm going to be in Curtis, right? I believe it. Yeah, Curtis, Ontario, which is near Oshawa, right? My old stomping grounds. But I won't be bringing my guitar. I'll be bringing my artwork. So here's why I will be this Saturday from lunchtime, 12 till 2. And there's my comic books on the side. You can get the issue 1, 2, and 3 for unlimited time for $20. And if you're there, just give me $20. Excuse me. Give me $20 cash, tax included, and you will get my first 3 issues. There's lots of other cool stuff as well. One of the new things that I've picked up that I've been working on and that I am also going to be selling are these cool mini flat canvases. I don't know if you guys are privy to these. There's a Venom one that I did. That's pretty cool, huh? So it's a mini flat canvas. Nose itch. Here's another one I did. I'm going to have a few of these, but I'm just going to show you 2 of them that I did. I don't want to handle them too much because I haven't sealed them yet. Now, there's some Grogu action. There you go. Grogu's rad. So that'll be for sale. These come with these neat little stands. So you can put them on your fireplace mantle or on your bedroom dresser thingy or wherever you like to put cool stuff. And I'll be selling those for $20, including the stand, where you can get 3 comic books for $20. Man, I got lots of cool stuff. I'll show you the promo one more time because it was done really well by my wife and producer here, the graphics. So there's where and Deadly Grounds Coffee. I don't know if you've ever been to Deadly Grounds Coffee, but it's so cool. It's a horror style. It's a horror style coffee shop, which is really, really awesome. I'm working the controls here by myself. This is awesome. I feel like I'm flying the Millennium Falcon tonight, Lonnie, but I feel like I'm doing it without Chewbacca there. What's going on, man? It's pretty funny. Okay, so this is great, though. So I hope to see a lot of my old friends there. Another one I have coming up is I'd like to get closer to the Ingersoll, London area and possibly do one in Kitchener. So that's another one that I'm looking at doing here soon. Next month, I'll be back here in Kingston, of course, because it's the Old Guy Tour, my friends. It's the Old Guy Tour, but there it is. Okay, so thanks for tuning in, everyone. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the 80s, because this episode is everything 80s. Now, is there a clip we can show to intro our 80s? What do we got? Because we're going to be talking about the fads. We're going to be talking about the music. We're going to be talking about the movies. I'm an 80s child, right? So I love the 80s, man. That was my time to flourish. Now, there's a camera we can buy, but we're not going to purchase that because we don't want to buy that camera. I don't think that camera's from the 80s. I think they're lying to us. It looks like it's from the 80s.
Yeah, it looks.
It looks like it. Yeah. All right. So let's get into our first topic here then. You can get rid of that from the screen if you want. Okay. And we will go to our reader's choice. Yeah. All right. How do I click that off of there?
I'm trying to. Hold on.
I'll pause for a drink then, I guess.
I was going to go through the fads since you're talking about that.
All right, a little quicker on the snap there and we'll get it. All right, so what I did was I put the question out to our viewers online, and this was just strictly on Facebook, I believe. Now, my question was, if you could bring anything back from the 80s, what would it be? Now, there's some pretty funny responses in there. Some people wanted to bring back their bodies. Some people wanted to bring back their metabolism. Some people had some like government opinions in there they wanted to bring back. Some funny stuff in there. So I picked out my favorite top 5, and I think I even have like one extra in there just to honorable mention. Right? All right. So here we go. Now I didn't put these in any serious order, but I guess I should. I'm gonna do it real quickly with my head here. Okay. So here's the honorable mention. Do we all remember when home ec was in school and they had wood shop and home ec? So that was by Tammy Larrabee, and she would like to see home ec back in the high schools. I would too.
I agree.
Yep, that's a good one. That's a really good one. So that one just made the cut. That's number 6, we'll say. I really like that one. I couldn't cut it out. When I was back in high school, we had that. I had the shop class and the woodworking, and somebody always cut something really deep. It was exciting. You had to be on your guard, man. Stay on your toes, right? And then the girls were cooking and stuff. But when I was doing it, we switched at one point. And I really liked that because I like cooking, and it was great. And plus, we got to hang out with the girls and stuff, and they taught us how to cook. And then the girls would come over with us, and we would teach them woodworking. And I thought that was really cool. So cheers to Tammy Larrabee for suggesting that one. I like that one as well. That gets a woo. Mm-hmm. Now,
basic skills.
Basic skills. I always thought they should bring in a course on how to pay your bills. Maybe they've done that now. Like how to pay credit cards and what a mortgage is and everything, because that's kind of shocking. And all the ways you can be taken advantage of when you're renting an apartment or something. That should definitely, life should be a course in high school. Mm-hmm. It kind of was in, well, yeah, in the 80s you had that part of the life, which was great, the life teaching, because I had a law class I took through that. I remember that kind of awoke me to a few laws. But anyway, moving along. Okay, this is such a tough list to narrow down. So if I'm going to put another one in here, let's go to, okay. This was from a buddy of mine named David Day, and he is a famous Marvel comic artist, just a comic artist in general. I think most of his work's on Marvel though. So David Day and a fellow Kiss follower. He's an old dude like me. Now, he wanted to see a reboot of the $6 Million Man, and I think that's a fantastic idea. I loved the $6 Million Man toy, the action figure. You look through the back of his head. I don't have it. I wish I did have that, man. I'd be showing that on here. There's been some funny Easter eggs of it in movies like 40-Year-Old Virgin and stuff about the action figures, how much money they're worth and how cool they are. But so David Day, and if you're watching, David, cheers, my friend. Hope you're doing well. He wants to see a reboot of the $6 Million Man. Bring that back. And that was Lee Majors that starred in that. And then they did the spinoff was The Bionic Woman, which was exciting as well. Those were kind of like our superheroes back, our television superheroes back in the early 80s. A little bit of the late 70s in that one, as we were discussing, but that fits our criteria of the 80s that we love so much. Okay, number 5 now, because we're going to go number 4. Now, I missed this too. This Saturday morning cartoons. Now, I know you can see them, and you can actually go on YouTube and, punch in Saturday morning cartoons, and you can just sit there and watch the whole deal with the commercials in and everything. And trust me, I've done that. I like doing that. I mean, that's a lot of fun to me. Sets a vibe for because I work at home as well. Now, bringing back Saturday morning cartoons, it's the vibe of the morning, right? Like getting up that Saturday morning. That was your morning to watch cartoons when we were younger. The new generations won't get this. What do you mean you can watch cartoons anytime you want? No, we had this Saturday morning lineup, and the Saturday morning lineup was awesome. You could get everything from Batman to Looney Tunes to Muppet Babies, to even some funny little news shows with younger kids hosting them and such like that. So that was by Dave Hill, and Dave Hill's from the Schwa. Hey, Dave, hope you're watching too, bud. Dave wants to see the Saturday morning cartoons brought back, and I agree that Saturday morning cartoons rule. That whole vibe. So you can, though, my friends, if you go to YouTube, you can dial into a whole bunch of Saturday morning cartoons and just let them play. I like doing that. A lot of fun. Okay, moving along. Our next one on the list. So this would be number 3. Okay, this is cool. The cereal. When you buy cereal back in the day, you would get a toy. And when I was a kid, I would judge the cereal that I would ask my mom to buy on what toy was inside. And this is by Kristen. So Kristen, if that is your name. No, I'm pretty sure I know who you are. And cheers to you. I think that's a great one too. I was kind of floored. And it's funny. I think, Lonnie, I was out shopping. It wasn't too long ago when I said to you, where are all the toys in the cereal? And my wife mentioned, they've been long gone. And that sucks. Because
they stopped marketing to children.
They stopped marketing to children. I guess in the extra money that's put in there for that kind of thing, right? Sure. Kristen would like to see the toys in cereal again. And I concur. I would love to see that again. That would get me buying some cereal.
The last what I remember buying with something in it was the DVD games.
Oh, you used to be able to get DVD games and cereal. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember
Under a
that.
Mask.
We lived in an apartment in that time on the main street of Port Perry. And we would get these games or DVDs, and you could put them in your PC. Back when your computers had like a slot for DVDs or CDs. And yeah, and another one I remember too was The Simpsons. We would get them in we had these little Simpsons figures we would get in a cereal. I can't remember what it was. That was back when my wife and I got our first place in an apartment, and that was in the 90s. So that wasn't the 80s though, but that was the 90s, which was when they stopped putting toys in cereal apparently. No, come on, bring it back. Bring it back. Let's do it. Okay, so that's my number 3. Number 2 is the music. Of course, the music. Tracy Long from Ingersoll, Ontario. Somebody had to be from Ingersoll on the list, right? You knew somebody had to be from Ingersoll on the list. Actually, I think the other one's from some close, but was. Sorry. Tracy Long, the music. I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. The music, I'd listen to a lot of 80s music. If you're visiting with us or you're having a couple beer and some barbecues on my patio back out there, you're gonna hear some 80s music. You are totally gonna hear some 80s music. I love it. There's a lot of 80s music. There's not a lot of 80s music that I'm not privy to, because back in our age, us Gen X kids found a lot of our time in the backseat of a car listening to the radio. And I know the kids are like, what? You listen to the radio? Well, we had to in the 80s, and we were kind of at the mercy of what was going on there. But there was a great tunes going, and we're going to talk a little more about the music later with our conspiracy theory, which is heavy metal music and Satan, the devil, right? Which was I'm growing my hair long again in salute of my youth, I guess. Hey, Lonnie, is that why I'm growing my hair long again?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I can. It was funny. Another one of the things that people wanted to bring back was my buddy Eugene Dinesville said the hair on top of my head, and I thought that was really funny.
Yes.
That's what he wanted to bring back from the 80s, was the hair on top of his head. I thought that was hilarious. That was really, really funny. Okay, friends. So we're at the top. Here we go. So music by Tracy Long. She submitted that one. The music was great. And the happy vibe from the music was really good as well. You had to like the happy vibe, you know. I'm surprised nobody said the cocaine from the 80s.
The drugs.
The drugs from the 80s. I want the drugs back from the 80s.
I would
Nobody
like to bring
said
back
that.
No cell phones.
Lonnie would like to bring back no cell phones, my wife, but you're not the only one. That just didn't make my top 6. But yeah, no, that was suggested. I can't remember who else, but that was suggested by a few people. One person even suggested that phones were just left at home. That
Yeah, exactly.
the phones that were just left at home, you know. I think that was Johnny Bayless that suggested that one. Cheers, my friends. Cheers, my friends. See, I'm getting y'all involved in the show now. So now you got to watch at least the intro, right? Now that we're doing our viewer's choice. Number 1 is from Sean Burwell, who now lives in Dorchester, I believe. Was Ingersoll for a while, but he's an Army guy, right? And he wanted to bring back, do we have a picture of this guy? He wanted to bring back John Candy.
Oh, no, I don't have
No, that's okay. We don't have a picture of John Candy handy, but so the number 1 thing that I would like to bring back from the 80s, John Candy, and not in zombie form or anything creepy or weird, but you know, he's like my comedic icon, going back from SCTV up to one of my all-time favorite films of Uncle Buck. There's just so much talent and pure joy in everything that John Candy did, and in him being Canadian, so proudly Canadian. There was never anything said badly about John Candy. He was just one of those big fat guys that was hilarious, a jolly dude, man. He just, you know, you don't take care of yourself, and you leave us a little early. That's unfortunate, right? But so the number 1 thing that I would love to bring back from the 80s by our Reader's Choice by Sean Burwell, Dorchester, Ontario, I believe, right now, my friend.
It's good.
Is to bring back John Candy. I would love to hear what you guys would like to bring back from the 80s, if there was something. There's too many, though, right? Like, this was tough. So I had to choose from 134 suggestions.
Wow.
But some of them could have been just responses to others. So let's say there was 100. Let's say I had to judge from 100 responses online. And there was some really, as I say, there's some funny ones. There's some great ones. And there's some people that are a little too political out there. But I get it. No, I get it. But that's not what I was going for. So if you said something political and thought you had a really cool idea, sorry, I was just going for the fun angle. Conspiracy theories is what we'll touch on that a little more, right? Okay, so that was a great segment. Reader's Choice, we're going to keep doing that. I like it. So now we're going to do some movies.
The Fats?
Oh, fads. Yeah, you got some fads here. Sorry, I'm skipped. Thank you. That's why I have somebody helping. Well, your fad last time was this. So,
Well, I gotta go down the list. This is a list.
see, this is not a fad.
Fads.
We're looking at a page on the internet. Where's our fads?
So the first fad, right here, yo-yos.
I thought the next one was going to be Brad. Oh, so yo-yos. Oh, man. Did anybody out there get good at a yo-yo? You know, the funny thing is there's a supervillain who used a yo-yo. And it was super cool.
That was the Minions movie.
No. Marvel. Sorry.
Oh, was
Marvel.
that Marvel?
We're talking 80s here, right? Okay, number 2 is the mullet and Brad Pitt, apparently. Oh, look at how cute Brad Pitt was.
Is that Brad Pitt?
Isn't that? That's Brad Pitt.
Oh, wow.
Look at Brad Pitt and his mullet and his
Brad
jeans.
Pitt.
Well, you're looking at his crotch now. Yeah, that's Brad Pitt's crotch, all right. All right, slap bracelets. I was never into the slap bracelets, but they sell those still. I can remember going to concerts. Look, check it out, you can buy slap bracelets. No, get that off my wrist. Stop touching me. All right, what do we got next? Condoms? No, not stars. Hair crimpers. Yeah, that was a suggestion on the list by someone. Yes, it was. Was bring back hair crimpers.
I think they are.
Yeah, so wow, look at that beast. Wait, put the hair crimper back on?
Yeah.
That could be mistaken for something else very easily. From the future, maybe even. That looks like that could entertain a few people. Because it looks like a lightsaber, like you could pretend it was a sword or something.
Sure.
Okay. Then moving along, we've got the big hair. I love big hair on women. It's just my favorite thing. Big hair, baby. I'm trying to convince my wife to get like a perm. I want her to get an 80s perm, and I'm being serious. Okay, now we got next is the hacky sack. Now, I thought the hacky sack was more of a 90s thing, but maybe it just got perfected in the 90s. But no, actually, you know what? I can remember sitting out drinking beer, listening to like some Testament and cranking it just came back to me. Yeah. And cranking the hacky sack around. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I'm remembering that now. What do we got? Shoulder pads. Now that's something that whenever I watch 80s television, I always get a kick out of, and I just got, look at the shoulder pads. Now, the first one that comes to mind was the girl from Who's the Boss there? Angela Bauer always had those masculine shoulder pads, and that was the businesswoman look. There it is, right there, right from the 80s. The quintessential 80s businesswoman look. Love it. And that's Cindy Crawford. There you go. Beautiful. Leg warmers are neat too. That's another one that I like on girls or ladies. I love the leg warmers, man. You see that? It's like, too, right? Excuse me. Yes. Yeah, I got to mention, it's so cold here today and damp. Oh yeah, I love the leg warmers. Oh, what are those?
You remember jelly shoes? Oh my god,
really?
They hurt your feet, but they were so popular.
Looks like you could eat them after you wore them.
Yeah, no, they hurt though.
Okay, no, I'm not privy to those really that much. No, fishnet stock. Okay, now we've put that with the hair, the leg warmers. Okay, we're all set.
Yeah,
we're all set.
And this before. The
the Walkman, right? Yeah, the Walkman. They're not showing the headset that goes on, made famous by Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Yeah. And those excellent tunes they would play through. They're more 70s songs, I think they would play through there. Mm-hmm. But still, look at that. And I'd like to get another one of those. I think they're just cool. They're really cool. So what we're doing is we're putting together Madonna's outfit from Like a Virgin, which I'm not opposed to. That's probably my favorite look for a lady in the 80s. I'm going to be honest with you. I like that look better than the Princess Leia look. Because every guy's fantasy is, apparently, nerd guy like me, is the Princess Leia from Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
The slave outfit, but I like the Madonna Like a Virgin outfit. So far, we're getting that whole thing for me here. I don't know what's going on here, but...
I don't know either.
Oh, the candy bracelets are still popular. I remember the candy bracelets. Pardon me?
Rubik's Cube.
They don't have a picture. Oh, the Rubik's Cube. They don't have a picture of it, but the Rubik's Cube. I have one downstairs. If I'd known, I would have brought it up. But I took the stickers off mine. Candy bracelets were great. Yeah, I remember those, giving those to friends. Colorful beads. Yeah, the beads. Yeah, okay, yeah. The koosh ball. Yeah, chucking those around in the middle of class. The teacher would turn their back and you chuck it over to somebody.
Oh my gosh,
parachute pants. Ice, baby.
Oh, car surfing.
Boom, 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 boom. Car surfing. I remember car surfing.
Did you do that?
I didn't. I was usually the guy driving.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what movie was that from? Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf, they did that, yeah. Finger Monsters.
Cabbage
Patch Dolls. My daughter, or my wife has 2 of those. And I just bought a Ghetto Blaster. Man, I should have brought more props up here, because my back cave downstairs is like an 80s haven. And I have a big one. Oh, here we go. Guardians of the Galaxy mixtape. Right, there you go. Yeah, the mixtape was great. I don't know how many mixtapes I'd made for just hanging out, and they were always awesome.
Yeah, you record them off the radio.
Well, that
Or
some of them
tape
we
to
would,
tape.
yeah, tape to tape. The radio was great when I was really young. That was just great quality. Camcorders, wow, well, I never had one of those.
CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Those were really popular. I remember those.
So expensive off the beginning, right?
$45 to $35.
Imagine that. And it's funny because records are like that now. They're that much. Monster Balls, okay, yeah. Polly Pockets. Whoa, because Taylor loved Polly
I
Pockets.
didn't know they came out in the 80s.
I didn't realize that was an 80s fad, but you know, our daughter loved the Polly Oh, Commodore 64. Look at that thing.
We'll just go to the next. Oh,
Yeah, it's fine. Swatches, yeah. Of course, MTV. That's like generational. The very first MTV. John, you were getting there. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So there's some popular fads from the 80s. The 80s was fun, man. Like again, I was there. I was from the age 11 to, or the age 10 to 11 to 20. I'm giving away secrets.
10 to 20.
Something. I was 14 to 75. Leave me alone. Get off my lawn. Okay, so moving along now, we're going to do movies. Oh, wow, we got a lot to cover here. Okay, so we got the movies, my friends. Now, these are the top grossing movies of the 80s. I keep wanting to say the 90s. I think I did something on the 90s lately. All right, so these are the top 10 movies of the 80s. Top 10 grossing movies. Now, there's an actor who's in more of these movies than anybody else. And it's not probably who you would think it would be. Or maybe it is. Here we go. Number 10, top grossing movies of the 1980s. I'm not telling you how much they made because those are numbers and I'm not writing that down. I apologize. Number 10, Top Gun. You knew Tom Cruise was going to be in there.
Oh, yeah.
Top Gun, our buddy Tom, who gets a pass with the males, but does not get a pass with females, I've noticed. Since we've done that video, does Tom Cruise get a pass? I'd say like 95% of the males say yes, whereas I would say 95% of the females say no, Tom Cruise does not get a pass. Just passing that on for the women. I thought I'd state that fact because Brett and I gave him a pass.
Can I say what?
No. Okay. We've got number nine here, Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade.
That's a good one.
Number 8, Back to the Future. Great movie. Fantastic. Brilliant movie. What can you say about it? Back to the Future. It's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm kind of shocked.
Is that Spielberg?
I don't even know, but I didn't write that down. Okay, Okay, where are we? Oh, number 8. Top grossing movies of the 1980s, Back to the Future. Number 7, we got Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop. That was a great movie. Now, Eddie Murphy was really popular in the 80s. He did the stand-up routine, and if you can see it on YouTube, of course. I forget what it's called. Delirious, and it was really good. All of a sudden, everybody's quoting that at school, and your drinking buddies and stuff. They're all quoting stuff from that Delirious. Eddie Murphy was really popular. So at number 7, we got Beverly Hills Cop. Number 6 grossing movie was Ghostbusters. Who are you gonna call? Now that's again still going today. They're still doing the Ghostbusters stuff. Ghostbusters was another great movie. The actors in there, Bill Murray, mother effing Murray, right? I can't go on and on about these movies because all these movies are amazing. If you're not aware of them, look them up. After Ghostbusters number 6, we have Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, another good one.
No, that's 2.
Harrison Ford.
2 Harrison Ford movies. You see where I'm going here? All right. That's number 5. Number 4, I'm Batman.
Oh, Batman.
I'm Batman. It's Batman. Yeah, so that 89, that squeaked in, right? So that's our Michael Keaton, our very first real Batman movie. And that was number 4 top grossing. Now number 3 is Empire Strikes Back. Harrison Ford gets his 3rd nod. Number 2 is Return of the Jedi. Harrison Ford gets his 4th nod. So Harrison Ford was in 4 of the top grossing movies of the 80s. That's pretty cool. And the funniest thing is that, I know this is funny. I hope my dad's watching. I know my mom is. My dad, I can remember this for some reason. It's funny, the quotes, because I thought when you're a kid, you don't know a lot about what adults think about actors and actresses. You're watching Star Wars, you think Mark Hamill should receive the greatest award in the world for his acting, right? And I can remember my dad saying, "Oh, the only bad thing about Han Solo is Harrison Ford can't act his way out of a paper bag," or something like that, right? It was something like that. It was so funny, and I just remembered that for some reason. So if you're watching, Dad, I don't know, man, you did pretty good there. You are awesome at cars, though. We'll stick to that. So Harrison Ford got 4 movies out of 10. Wow.
That's amazing.
That's really rad. Number 1 movie.
Should we show it?
Top grossing movie. I would love to show the movie. Yeah, let's do it. It's one of my favorites, man.
the commercial.
This is definitely by Spielberg. We're going to take you right back, my friends. Right back. You ready? Mm-hmm. This was again. See, when I do this show, I want to go back and watch these movies again.
Yeah.
He's alone.
Million light years from
He looks
home.
sad.
And he has nowhere to poop.
In spring 2002.
Oh, little Drew Barrymore. Yay!
Steven Spielberg's
Elliot.
masterpiece
Elliot.
come to life.
Look at this. Brilliant. Look at the shots.
New generation.
Look at the BMX. Oh, that's what we didn't include.
Oh, BMX.
I can't believe we're not. We are gonna talk about it. Never mind.
So scary.
The wonder.
Number one top grossing movie
The
of the 80s is
Phone home.
that started it all.
Fly E.T. Fly.
Never before seen
Fly,
footage,
fat ass, fly.
enhanced special effects, and an all-new
Ooh,
digitally
E.T..
remastered soundtrack.
Okay,
The
I got a question after the.
extraordinary 20th
Look at this.
anniversary edition.
Brilliant. Yay!
That's the most famous.
Look at that.
Terrestrial.
Oh, the feels, my friends, the feels.
Be right here.
Here. He should have said, I'll be back. And then came back with a big gun.
Theaters, March
And cleared it.
2002.
Oh, it's the wreath thing of it, right? Yeah, there we go. So, hey, now, who did not cry? Did you cry?
Yes.
Yeah.
At first, I was scared. 'Cause I
Well,
was
yes, that's right. My wife was terrified of the ET movie at first, and I was teasing her about that too. But I didn't like bawl, but yeah, man, I was like, oh my god, I cried. I think I hit it properly, but yeah. So the number one grossing movie of the '80s is E.T. Number 2, Return of the Jedi. Number 3, Empire Strikes Back. Number 4, Batman. Number 5, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Number 6, Ghostbusters. Number 7, Beverly Hills Cop. Number 8, Back to the Future. Number 9, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. Number 10, Top Gun.
Wow.
Those are some good movies, right? So those are our 80s movies. One comedy, Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, Ghostbusters, right together too. Back to the Future is a comedy? More sci-fi, I would say.
I think it's comedy sci-fi. It's got some funny parts.
Okay. You can take that one. Okay, so what do we got here? So number 2, number 3. Okay, video games. So this was the time that you could take video games home with you. And that was a huge thing. It started in the late 70s with Atari, right? And Atari rules. Again, downstairs in my bat cave, I have 2 Ataris. I have the classic Woody. I have too many jokes. I have the Darth Vader one as well. And I have a wall of Atari games, man. So I was lucky enough to have my folks get me an Atari for Christmas one year, and I did not look back.
What was the worst Atari game?
And the worst Atari game ever apparently is E.T., which is the top grossing film. You know, I never thought of that because it's the top grossing film of the year and it is rated the worst game of the 80s. Possibly all time. It's worst rated Atari game, which I'm not buying that because there's worse Atari games, man.
You think so?
I should do a TikTok video on what I feel is the worst Atari games. I think there's worse Atari games than E.T., but we'll get to that later. So I'm narrowing down. So this was the decade of Nintendo. Sorry, folks. It is so dry. I meant to mention, we're in Kingston, Ontario, sidebar. Mm-hmm. So dry, so cold and wet here today. Not like it should be this time of the year in March or what we've been used to. It's just gross. So yeah, so I'm a little nasally. I apologize. Okay, sidebar gone. Back to video games. Nintendo, it took over, right? Like, man, I remember playing Mario. Everybody in our Generation X must remember playing Mario, right? My wife loved Mario. She was hooked on Mario 3 was her favorite. My favorite is number 2, although number 1's amazing, right? Number 2, to me, what are we looking at here?
We're gonna look at the commercial.
Okay, let's look at the commercial. I love the old commercials, right? Mario. So this was the start of a huge, like Mario's still going today with video games. It's basically the center of Nintendo still, which is amazing. See, I love these things that stand the test of times, right?
Super Mario. 1, 2, and 3. There's power in numbers. Nintendo. Now you're playing with power. Each game sold separately.
Okay, there we go. And that was, so the number 1 game of the 80s, top grossing, just number 1 was the first Mario. Number 3, we're going to skip number 2 because we'll come back to that. Number 3 was Mario 2. and third was Mario 3.
Oh.
So, or fourth. So third would have been Mario 2. Fourth would have been Mario 3.
Oh, really?
I believe it. Yeah. So number 2 though was Tetris.
Okay, a commercial for that one too.
And Tetris was such a simple, amazing game. If you're like, it's one of those games that still, if it's on a list of something I can play while I'm waiting for something or someone, and all I have is my phone and a game, Tetris is kind of my go-to. It's a clever little game. It has a cool history behind it too, because there's a little bit of espionage in trying to actually retrieve the game. Go ahead on. Actually retrieve the game from Russia. Yeah, I talk over a little bit of these just so they don't try and yoink them from us, right? So this is the girl. I remember this vividly. Wow. Yeah. So great. So, parents actually dug this a bit too because it was a smart game. And I think parents enjoyed playing it. I liked it. Look at that dude's into it. Yeah, he's happy. Pardon me?
It's a puzzle game.
Yeah, puzzle games are fun, right?
There we go.
And there was no words or math. It was just shapes. So yeah, that Tetris. So Tetris was number 2. So the top grossing games, video games of the 80s was Mario 1, Tetris, Mario 2, Mario 3. So that's what we're looking at for games is the home systems were just becoming the big thing. And Nintendo just owned it. They just owned it. And I still love all those video games. I'm amazed at the culture. Just the Nintendo culture is still as popular as it is. I don't know if you have a favorite Nintendo game out there because they branched off to so many other games. There's a game called Ghosts and Goblins that I would play in the arcades as the big machine. And when they had that on the Nintendo with the complete graphics the same, I was blown away. Ghosts and Goblins was one of the games that I would just love to take home with me, and I did finally, and it was great. I also love Duck Hunt. Duck Hunt was a fun one, hunting the duck there with the gun. That was a lot of fun as well. So let's move on. So those are video games. Again, Nintendo owned the 80s, man. Nintendo owned it. All right. So we're moving on to our next segment here, which is conspiracy theories. Let's roll it. I'm hypnotized by that every time it's on. All right. Our conspiracy theory. 80s. Heavy metal music. Long-haired freaks. Did they worship Satan? Were they worshiping Satan? Of course they were. It was the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. So, one thing that I loved about rock and roll when I was young, man, Led Zeppelin, they sold their soul to the devil to play rock and roll. I loved that. Mm-hmm. That was cool. They didn't. But they were awesome. And because they sold their soul to the devil, apparently, they were beyond awesome. So we elevated the 80s of them actually worshiping the devil, having hidden meanings in their lyrics, putting the music backwards, and you could hear satanic messages that made kids want to do just horrible things, hon. Horrible things like grow their hair long.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Terrible things. Well, it got to the point, though, where the government got involved. There is a lady, and her name was Tipper Gore, and man, was she a bitch. Wow. So she is the one that is responsible for the warnings on music now. She started the PMRC, which is the Parents Music Resource Center. And if you're from my era, you will remember this very, very well. It's funny because we have a clip. What are we going to look at here?
Yeah, I got a cup.
Okay, great. So,
two kind of clips I'm going to want to show.
And I want to talk about the Dee Snider one, right?
I couldn't get it condensed. It was like
okay, that's all right. So one of the things about this was brought to the Senate. That this is how bad this was. So this was a big censorship deal. That was on the side of the heavy metal artists and the musicians. Was that you're censoring us as censorship, and the Senate was saying no. Conspiracy theory. Insert conspiracy theory here. You are manipulating the youth with your conspiracy theory in your music, satanicness, backward messages, subliminal messages. There was a lot of things that were blamed on music back then. Suicides were blamed on music a lot back then too. Now the thing is they thought bringing it to the Senate, these people that represented heavy metal music, like Dee Snider, that was one of the main ones that went in there. They thought they were going to be in there and be incoherent bums, but some musicians are actually pretty smart. Some people who think outside of the box are pretty smart. Now it would have been a different ball game, I think, if like Tommy Lee was on the stand. But let's roll the clip. It was quite the battle. It was quite the battle.
Particularly for older people. When was the last time you listened carefully to some of the words that the rock singer?
Rock music has always been controversial.
And then they show Cyndi Lauper. Hilarious, right? This is how out
but
of
in the
touch
1980s,
they were on this
many
as well.
parents felt lyrics had finally gone too
Oh, they're
far.
showing the old ones, right? Now they're showing that. Yeah, okay.
Or incest, or bondage.
There's
Rock lyrics have turned from "I can't get
Tipper
no
Gore.
satisfaction" to "I'm going to force you at
Susan
gunpoint to eat
Baker.
me alive."
Some of it
What
is
the F?
encouraging unlawful behavior. And
Yeah,
music
it's
is
awful.
harmless? I don't think so.
The high-profile crusade raised age-old questions of what crosses the line.
I said, if I'm going to go to jail for something, I'll go to jail for free speech. You know what I'm saying?
People have been complaining about culture since ancient Greece. There are quotes from Plato about the violence in Greek tragedies and their effect on kids. Aristotle disagreed. It really raises the how do we know? How do we define harm?
Okay, wow, that's brilliant. Okay, so stop that there. So that's how intense it was. They were going after music, man. It was a whole thing. They're spending tax dollars on it. And we don't have the clip, but Dee Snider goes in there with his hair everywhere, and he just cut off shirt. And he was really smart. He was really smart with his quotes and his comments. What happened in the end was our warning labels that we get on music and such, right? What I find funny about this, though, and using this in our conspiracy theory, looking back now, they weren't worshiping Satan. That wasn't going on. They were pushing the envelope to freak people out, yes. Now, this brings me to our topic of today's Illuminati and the conspiracy theory of the devil, Satan worshiping in today's music. Is it just like what's going on today? Is it just an act to get more people interested in the music, talk about it? Back in the day, the more you pushed this satanic angle, the us against them angle, the more it sold, the more the product of heavy metal would sell, then the higher it would be exposed in the media. So is that maybe what's going on today? Are they just throwing it in our face and they're just laughing like maybe some of these guys were back in the heavy metal days? I don't know. It's something to think about. Now, my producer was tweaking my arm here and pinching me. What's up?
Oh, I just wanted to show my this.
Okay, we're going to show another clip. Let's do it.
From the 80s.
What's this about?
Knights and Satan.
Oh, Kiss, my band, and them being called Knights in Satan Service. Believe me, this is almost like a trigger for me because my parents would come at me about this when I was a kid. I love Kiss. I did.
The Kiss Army is the loyal fans that follow the group, like this Gene Simmons impersonator from Brookings.
Nice.
It's back in
The 83. No, this is great. So this is Unmasked. Oh, it's not like that's what he's wearing. This would have been I Love It Loud tour, I think.
The rooms were ready for us. All we had to do was sign. What are we supposed to do?
Just wait till the Bushmasters.
Then there is the other Kiss Army, the people that don't approve of the group.
Nope, there's 5 of them.
Say one thing, parents. Kids out here are coming to see something that's very satanic, and what KISS stands for is Knights in Satan Service. We're just out here trying to witness to people and share the gospel of Jesus Christ.
But KISS doesn't care what anybody thinks about their act or what their message is. It's only a big deal to them.
Yeah, there's Vinny. Yeah, it's
to believe what they want to believe, no matter
Creatures
what.
of the Night.
So, that's their problem, not ours.
The KISS motto is, if the music is too loud, then you're
too old.
When we saw the paint start to peel off the wall of the arena, we decided we were too old.
You're too old.
All right, get rid of them then. So that's funny. So yeah, there's a perfect example. I forgot about that. I was like, I got Gene Simmons over my shoulder, like you got the angel over one side and the devil over your other shoulder, and I got Gene Simmons. So yeah, so I was a huge Kiss fan growing up, just a little nargan, and I heard a lot of that. Knights in Saint service, you worship the devil. Wow, church, right? That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, so our conspiracy theory today is a 2. It links twice. Were they really worshiping the devil back then? Now, I know there was a bunch of death metal bands that came out of that and were burning churches and were actually worshiping the devil. Interesting story with Nikki Sixx, who is now a big piece of shit. But back in the day, man, he wrote some great music. He and Lita Ford, another classic, she was in the Runaways, and just another gorgeous metal queen from the 80s, right? Her and Nikki Sixx were together, and they started worshiping the devil a bit, just in fun, because they were so messed up on heroin and drugs. They were just doing it to be, you know, just for entertainment purposes. And originally, Shout at the Devil was going to be called Shout with the Devil, but he had an experience that apparently freaked him out so much, or so the story goes, is that he was like, screw this, I'm not going to do this anymore. I was just screwing around with satanic worship. Shout at the devil. And that was early into their career when they were producing some of the best music ever that Nikki Sixx now pisses on. But I would say that back then, Motley Crue was definitely not worshiping the devil in any serious way. Ozzy Osbourne was just struggling to stay sober and coherent, I think. My cat is attacking everything in sight. And most of it was just a power play for money. And as I mentioned, I believe for getting noticed and getting more publicity put on news and such like that. But is that what they're doing today? Or is there really a musical Illuminati? You know, is that really going on? I could see it. The last Super Bowl was almost like they were throwing it in our faces. So that's where I'm starting to think that, this is just bullshit. But what do you think? I love conspiracy theories, right? So music, is it really controlled by Satan? Is it really still controlled by worshiping the devil and some messed up shit? You decide. Let's play that out. Where is it? Conspiracy theories are done. Nice. Did you guys wave back to the little aliens there? They like it when you do. Awesome. I can't believe I didn't put a BMX section in this. One of the biggest fads of the 80s was BMX. And I loved BMX, and I still BMX. And I have so much respect for that. Still seeing it today. The colors, this on the bikes, the styles, the tricks. Dang. Anyway, we'll get back to that, because right now, I want to talk about John Hughes. Now, this is what we're going to call our Icon Award of the 80s. This guy kind of shaped the 80s when it comes to film, in my opinion. And his view from a teenage angle was incredible for somebody of his age. Really stayed in tune with his youth and connected with his actors and actresses amazingly. John Hughes, unfortunately passed away in 2009, gave us some of the best movies ever. And what I'm going to do is, if I had to get rid of every John Hughes movie but 5, I'm going to pick 5. But first, let's watch this.
Well, here we are. All right, people, we're going to try something a little different today.
Oh, John Hughes.
We are going to
Weird
write
science.
a message.
Oh, and there's John Candy.
No less than 1,000 words.
Brilliance. The shots and everything, like the camera angles.
Who do you think you are?
He doesn't get enough credit for the camera shots. Very comic book stage and oriented.
He's sick. My best friend's
Oh, dick.
boyfriend's brother's girlfriend heard from this guy who knows
Robert Downey
he was going with
Jr.
the girl who saw Ferris
Like,
pass out at 31 photos
just-
last night. Guess it's pretty serious.
jeopardizes
man.
my ability to effectively govern this student body.
He's kind of an asshole.
It's done out of love. He gives good kids bad ideas.
What would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hey! What's going on in there?
Are you a virgin?
She's gotten her boobies.
Well, I should say you do.
Come on, Rooney.
Are we gonna be like our parents?
When you grow up, your heart dies.
Damn. And some people it does. Wow.
I can't believe
Hand between those pillows.
they forgot my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
You get the
What
horns,
do you
my
care
friend.
what I think anyway? I don't even count, right?
Hey, what are big brothers for?
What in God's name is going on in here?
Brilliant.
What was that ruckus?
My
shorts. Bart Simpson, yeah. Yo!
Ferris Bueller,
Dancing.
you're my hero.
Highly underrated.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Truer words have never been spoken. Man. I love that. One-liners, man. Boom. John Hughes had him. For a whole generation. He spoke for a whole generation. And used the greatest actors and actresses to represent those stories. Just brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. All right, okay. Now, here's my job. If I had to erase every John Hughes movie and only leave 5, I'm going to cheat and keep 1 extra. I am. And the one I'm going to cheat and keep extra is Career Opportunities.
Oh, was that a show?
Yeah, and Jen Connolly in that is mind-blowing. There's a music video for that song, 80s song. I can't remember what it is, but wow.
Career Opportunities?
It is, so Career Opportunities is my, if I could slide a 6th in, it would be Career Opportunities. And that's, and the actor's really famous too. I just can't remember his name. He was in Pulp Fiction and a bunch of other stuff. Really great actor from the 80s. But Jennifer Connelly is just the 80s. The thing I liked about this movie is in the 80s, a lot of the main actresses or main female stars were blonde. Did anybody else notice that there was a lot of blonde in the 80s?
Yes.
Okay.
The sun.
I'm not just saying I noticed a lot of blonde. So when Jennifer Connelly came along with the dark hair and just the black pants and the white shirt, it was really cool. Mm-hmm. And the way that John Hughes presented the romance between the 2 leads is amazing. Career Opportunities, watch it. But the music video, watch that too. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Okay, so that's going to be my extra I would sweep in there. Now, this is in no order because I'm just getting rid of all the other movies, unfortunately. This is just, the universe threw this at me. I'm going to keep Weird Science. Mm-hmm. I love Weird Science. Again, I like the scene where they're drinking. Yeah, he did. He kicked me right in the nuts. He kicked you in the nuts. He kicked me right in the fucking nuts. She did. Anyway, I love that stuff. So Weird Science I'm keeping. Now, here's the thing. I to myself said you could only keep 1 Christmas movie. So I had to pick between Home Alone and Christmas Vacation. Now, Lonnie, what did I keep?
You're going with National Lampoon's.
Yeah, I kept Christmas Vacation.
Oh, you cut it out?
I kept Christmas Vacation, and I lost Home Alone. I know that's tough, but I felt I could only so I felt I could only keep 1 Christmas movie. But on top of that, I kept Vacation because it is just one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't think you can find any kind of flaw, any kind of negative response to Vacation. The original Vacation. I don't think there's anything. In my opinion, that's a perfect comedy.
It is really fun.
Huh? 10 out of 10. I'm going to say that. Mm-hmm. The original Vacation, perfect comedy. The newer ones, I don't know. But although Christina Applegate, it doesn't. But Christina Applegate, you watch it because of her and you support her.
Yes.
Okay. What else am I keeping? Keeping Breakfast Club, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, keeping Breakfast Club. Got to keep Breakfast Club. Love that. It's one of those movies that you don't realize you still love until you watch it again. And it's one of those movies too where if I put on when I've just woken up and had my coffee, I'm just it's great. Great memories, great vibe. Finally, the last one I'm going to keep, Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Uncle Buck. Again, that's my John Candy there too, right? Like, and Uncle Buck is again a 10 out of 10 movie in my opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with Uncle Buck. I don't think you can find a flaw in the acting, the actresses, the casting, the writing. It's got the John Hughes house, which is awesome. We should have got a scope of all the John Hughes houses in the movies because they all have the similar John Hughes theme to them, which is great. The colonial look. Okay, so if I'm going to erase all John Hughes' movies, but 5 of them, 6. Weird Science I'm keeping. Christmas Vacation I'm keeping. Uncle Buck I'm keeping. The Original Vacation I'm keeping, which isn't an 80s movie, I don't think.
Yeah, it is.
Is it? Okay, good. Okay. Oh, yeah, because okay, no, sorry. Breakfast Club. Sorry, my mind went elsewhere. Breakfast Club, career opportunities because of Jennifer Connelly. Damn.
She's 80s. I think that's really.
Oh yeah, no, that's 80s, man. That's 83. No, that's 80s. Oh yeah, well look at the song from the video is from. No, it's 80s. Trust me. Okay. It's 80s. Trust me. Yeah. Wow. Okay, John Hughes. Excuse me. Cheers, John Hughes. I can have a drink for John Hughes because man, brilliance.
He did so many movies.
If he was alive, he'd be doing a Marvel something or Star Wars something.
I know.
Yeah, he would. Something funny. If there's something like he would do like Howard the Duck or something for Marvel, like something.
I can't see him being like that. He's not. I don't think he goes for the trendy.
Nah, but he'd do it.
He goes for the underdog.
Dude, this. Oh, he's doing the money sign. Taxes go up. Well, but he's doing the money sign.
No. John Hughes.
Money talks.
Critics. He dropped.
Money talks. Okay, our final thing we're going to talk about here, and this is again one of my favorite pop culture things from the 80s in a screen celebrity way. Is the 2 Coreys, man. And I love the 2 Coreys. I still do. And I tell you guys, you watch Corey Feldman's videos. I know his music sucks and he's really trying, but damn, he paid for the sins of Hollywood, man. You watch Corey Feldman. And Corey Feldman, if you're out there watching me, you are good. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hack on you. Please come visit me. I would love to have you over here and your wife and family or whatever you got going on. Yeah. We'd entertain you. We'd have fun, my friend. Sorry. I would really like to hang out with Corey Feldman. I would really like to hang out with Corey Feldman. And dude, I feel bad for you. I'd love to talk to you. Corey Haim was amazing as well, dude. That guy, and I thought they were great actors, man. Mm-hmm. One of the best movies of all time, but wasn't on the list of grossing movies. Lost Boys. Bam. Can we see some? Yeah. Feldman and Haim. And look at the comic books going on in here, right? Like, how could I not like this? Dang, Froggy. Look at, oh, dude. And so these are kids, man. These are kids being thrown into Hollywood. And they just found each other and hung on for dear life, right? And then hated each other at the end of it because of Hollywood.
Or a vampire.
I think they played each other against, like Hollywood played them against each other.
Possibly.
You really know what's happening around here, don't you? Well,
oh, man, look at how young they are. Look at these beautiful kids. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Huh?
You think we just work in a comic book store?
It's really quiet clip.
That's okay. We just need to see them. Because, like, as I say, the shots as well, man.
We're dedicated to a higher purpose.
Remember they put out a
the Coreys.
comic book.
Justice in the American way.
In the American way. He's doing like a very Rambo type of thing, like Sylvester Stallone, right? And he nails it as a kid. I just love this.
I don't like horror comics.
Man, Lost Boys, 1987. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, done by Joel Schumacher.
You never need to call us.
Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland, and the ever-dazzling Diane West.
2 Canadians in there.
I know it. Well, 3, right? Oh, no, 2. Yeah, right, yeah. So the 2 Coreys, man, and I feel bad for them. Yeah, I know. We got, they did a lot of drugs. We all know that. But I don't know if you never heard about them hurting anyone. It was always them being taken advantage of. Now, take that in consideration when these 2 gentlemen's names are being thrown through the mud. Okay? You're looking at two kids here when they were huge and they were being taken advantage of hugely. And Corey Haim sadly ended with a great little spot on a movie, Adrenaline or something like that. Popular movie. Was it Transporter? They had to keep the adrenaline moving in the character, and he seemed like he was back, but it's hard. It's whenever they say a celebrity dies of heart problems now, I think there's some drugs, because he died probably because of a heart problem. But if you watch the two Coreys, you see how bad his drug problem was, and it's sad, man. It's friggin' sad, really sad. A lot of it was scripted, but you can tell when they're flying off script.
Corey Feldman has been sober since the early 90s.
Corey Feldman's been sober since the 90s. Way to go, buddy. So I guess I wouldn't entertain with booze. Sorry. I'm sure he's a smoker, though. And we could jam. So I want to hang with Corey Feldman. So Trier Media, get me an interview with Corey Feldman, please. I would think that'd be great. I'd jam with him, man. It'd be awesome. So in closing here, there's so much stuff that's dear to my heart from the 80s, right? Because I grew up in that era. If you're a parent that has a kid that's a Gen Xer, you'll know this as well, because you'll be a part of it, like my parents, who I've given the nod to tonight, being nice enough to entertain my palette of enjoyment of pop culture stuff. I got to see these movies. You can get stickers from us too. I got to experience a lot of the toys and such. We didn't touch the toys, man. But the video games, they always had me with the video games, which was great. Really cool. The 80s were awesome. And a side note is funny. So much of this stuff is still popular and kitschy. And a lot of my students nowadays, they envy me because I grew up in the 80s. You grew up in the 80s? Wow, that must have been awesome. And I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, it was awesome, man. No helmet, no pads.
Yeah.
No,
Drinking
man.
from the hose.
You just went, man, drinking from the hose. Which, funny, a lot of people find a lot of kids. You drank from a hose? It's like, yeah, those hoses. Yeah, we drank. Oh, that's disgusting. You think that's disgusting? I'm not going to divulge any more information to you, youngling. Cheers, my friends. Hey, so I went solo tonight. My brother Brent is out there somewhere. I don't know, South Africa or something, maybe. I don't know. He's out there with he's out there with that dragon band. So defend yourself from the dragon band there, Brent. Don't let them touch your bum. Keep it on the level, my friend. Miss you, Brent. Cheers to my folks who are always watching. I know that. And anybody else who's out there. I can't really tell these days. I don't know what's going on. But if you're out there watching me, thanks for tuning in. If your name was read on our what's our new segment called there, sweet one? We've got our Reader's Choice. So if you're on our Reader's Choice today, thank you. Some of the names I want to read out who are on there.
We're going to have to make an intro for that.
Yeah, we will. We'll get an intro. But some of the names, Dave Hill, thanks, buddy. Kristen, thank you. Sean Burwell, David Day. Yeah, cheers, David. Marvel comic artist right there. Tracy Long from way back from the day in Ingersoll. I remember you from high school, actually. You're a little younger than me, but I remember. Tammy Larrabee. I don't know where you're living right now. I have no idea. But cheers. Thank you for the home ec. Yeah, awesomeness. Great, did the movies. So I want to thank you all for tuning in, as I love the 80s, man. There's like so many great memories. And I found since I've been 50, I've really been able to look back and be proud of the fun and good things that I did in the 80s, instead of looking back on what you did that wasn't that much fun and maybe bad decisions, man. You got to look forward, my friends. One thing I learned in life, you cannot dwell on the mistakes you made. The only thing you can do is try and learn from them and get better. And do it proper the next time. You can't go back in time. We have not built a time machine yet.
That we know of.
Wow, that we can use, right? I'm sure we have. But don't be so hard on yourself. Yes. I know what that's like. It sucks. Life can be good. It can relax. Sometimes it feels like everybody's against you. And that's a hard feeling. But you know what? Do you take some time for yourself? If you need to smoke one, you need to have a beverage, you just need some peace and quiet by yourself in the forest, do you. Your brain is more important than it's being credited for. And you're not being told that for a certain reason. Okay? For myself and Brent, and for my fabulous wife here, and my cat who's hanging off of her noggin, party on and be excellent to yourselves, my friends. Peace and love.